Welcome to Landria Anka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. Now, if you knew what I knew, you would know why I laugh all the time. When I start these videos, sometimes I just laugh. Because you have wielded so much power that it's sort of crazy that there are channels like this where we're talking people through ourselves, right? Because you're part of me, you're part of the collective consciousness, you're a facet of me. We're having to remind ourselves of our power, but even when we remind ourselves, we really don't remember. We're like, oh, okay, yeah, remind me. That's not ringing a bell. So, there are fables and stories of, the person that gets put out on the street and to learn a lesson, and maybe the king puts his son out on the street or some weird story, and the only thing he gives him is this, robe that he's wearing, like a poor man's robe, and he's out wandering for, years, and then he finally realized that the robe was lined with gold and jewels the whole time. Now, here's what we don't remember. First of all, we always have that with us at all times. Now, what we don't do is, let's say after a few years, most people would say, I am ticked. Why didn't you tell me that in the beginning? I could have just cashed it in and been comfortable the whole time. We don't value the journey. And we're ticked when we have to go through all this. We're almost embarrassed that we go through this. We're apologetic for our stupidity or whatever we name it. That is simply us just learning and going through the experience of being human, which is what we came here for. That final thing, or the gold and the jewels, means nothing. It's that years of him out on the streets, not knowing he was carrying that around, but finally realizing that he had access to that at all times, is obviously a parallel to real life. And that is, those jewels will not be truly appreciated, nor will they really make an impact on you without that journey that brought you to them. So if somebody just handed those to you in the beginning, we know what would happen. It's the same way anything happens when you get too much too soon without really understanding the value of it. It's crash and burn, right? Or there's just no appreciation. We came here to feel that awesome feeling, and we're always apologizing for that journey. It's like we try to avoid it, and we don't understand that that's exactly what we're supposed to be doing, is trying things, triumphs, challenges. And I want to talk about that power that you wield. Why I sit and laugh all the time, that we have to actually remind ourselves. Remind me of what? I don't remember. Remind me that I have the power. And then we don't remember. Okay, that's fine. We're probably never going to remember till we croak. That's going to be an awesome day, by the way. It's like, woo-hoo. But boy, you better be ready for that. Are you going to enjoy that journey along the way and know that we wield that power, and you're going to get all of that stuff? You're going to be like sitting pretty when you pass over to that other realm, when you transfer your energy to something that is less dense, which, by the way, exists here anyways. You can actually transform that, you can get past that. But that's a big job, and who really wants to do that anyways, right? We can live here peacefully and not suffer. We will experience pain. Even when you transition to a higher realm, higher frequency, you still will experience those things of being human. You just might be able to walk through walls. I don't really need to do that. So the bottom line is, if you can look at life right now and say, I do wield that power. You have the same power I have. And people can say, oh, you have a natural ability for blah, 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 blah. It's just as tough for me sometimes to step into the unknown. And I get people questioning themselves all the time, thinking that somebody else has more of an advantage, or is smarter, or is more entrepreneurial than them when it comes to some of the things that we do. You know, they think there's something somebody else has that they don't, and that's just not true. You have everything. We all have varied gifts to complement each other because we're all facets of one big piece that's never ending, that's continually expanding. Can you celebrate this journey you're on, no matter how painful it is? Take responsibility for it. And I'm always getting these emails of people that are fighting it. Oh, woe is me. And then I'll get an email once in a while, somebody who owns it and said, I made those choices. I did that. I married that person. I had kids with that person. I took that job. I stayed in that job for 30 years knowing I was miserable. I take responsibility instead of, my boss is bad. Well, quit. Quit. You always have options. You always have choice. You are always in control. People say, that's not true. Somebody could do this or that to me. Trust me, that's all part of your plan. That's all part of the energy and the things that you're attracting and bringing in to learn things, and you're just not getting it. You're looking at it as something that's not supposed to be happening to you. You don't feel that you have that power. You think something outside of you has more power than you. Nothing has more power than you. Not even God, because you are God, and God has said that these things you shall do and more. Well, Christ said that. But Christ is part of the one. The only difference is that you're functioning on a lower frequency, so you haven't opened those gateways to go up. And by the way, there's some super high beings that continue to learn and go up and up and up. Who knows if it ends at all? My guess is no. My guess is there is no ending. My guess that it goes way beyond what we even think God is. And that because God is endless, God is limitless, God is all power, it's all everything, it's mind-blowing, and it goes into stuff that we can't even connect to as human beings. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, disrespectful to God. I'm putting God on the most highest, awesome level, and I'm putting you on that level because you are that loved. You are that powerful. We were given that, and to not recognize that, to me, well, it's not wrong. But that's a dense place to be. Because how can the one who's ultimate love, ultimate, beyond love, love doesn't even come close to describing it. It's so way beyond that. I've experienced it. You can't even put it into words. It's so mind-blowing. That you are a part of, experiencing itself. Why? I don't know. Why would anything that beautiful want to experience some of the things that we do? Contrast? Just because it can? Just because it's going to be and do everything? And that's part of it? And the darkness is part of it? And once they go there, that facet of the one, you might be one of those facets that decides to go to a dark side, can decide to pull out of it. I'm done with this. Okay, I've experienced it. Not naming it good nor bad. And part of that darkness might be inflicting pain on somebody else who wanted to experience that, because we've forgotten everything. Otherwise, our roles wouldn't make any sense. We'd go, oh yeah, that's right, so-and-so's going to knock on my door and stab me. Okay, get ready. No, none of that would work, right? It doesn't even make sense. We have to come in here with a clean slate and a blank mind slate. Now, a lot of us have memories. I have memories of past lives, very strong ones. I have very clear memories of past lives. And one of them, it was not on this planet. I didn't know that. I thought it was a future vision, and then I realized it wasn't, because it's so similar to this planet, but it was different. And the things that were going on the planet were extremely advanced. Things that aren't happening here. So I realized it was someplace that I had been before, which was very disturbing. Unfortunately, it was not a really nice place to be. It was constantly under siege, under war, fighting all the time, all the time. And so I'm here on this planet to raise this frequency, because I'll be darned if it's going to happen here again. We are not going to live in a place where we're killing each other for differences because we want to experience that dark side. And you and I can bring our frequency up to change that because we are one. We're a facet of the one. We have that power. And I want you to understand that when you meditate, when you focus on it, I tell you, every day, send that light and love out to the universe. I do it as many times as I can. I'm like, I open up my heart and I send it out and I send light and love. And don't think for a minute you're losing your power. The more you do it, the more you gain, because you're connecting to the light and love that's out there waiting for that, which comes back and steps in and then guides us and aids us and says, yay, woohoo, thank you for opening that door. It's going to connect to us. And then the masses start to tip those scales, and we're already tipping it. We're already saving ourselves. And we can change other people from doing dark things because they're going to feel different. They're going to be picking up on this collective consciousness that you are part of. That's how powerful you are. You can change everybody. You are. Every split second you're changing everybody. That is your power. It's not working some of the time or when you meditate and I'll just go to work and then I'll focus on manifesting. You're manifesting all the time. So if 90% of your day you're walking around not feeling worthy, wondering if you'll ever get the money or whatever it is you want, and you're struggling and you're like, you don't know why or whatever, you're walking around without recognizing your power. And your power is confidence, faith, not hope. Hope is, I'm hoping it'll work out. In other words, there's a possibility it won't. No, faith. Faith means it is. You are. End of story. You get to bring that into your reality, or you can question it and create something else. That's your power. That's the beauty of it. And some of you are manifesting some awesome stuff. I shared a story with you a couple days ago. I actually just edited this. I just posted it, I think. I was saying that everything's possible. I said, if you want to go on vacation, you don't have money, maybe you get a phone call and somebody says, hey, you don't need any money. I'm going on vacation. Somebody canceled on me and I don't want to be alone. It's all free. You just have to get there. 2 days later, I just use that as an example. 2 days later, my friend contacted me. Unbeknownst to me, she was even going on vacation. Said, I have an opening, and if you'd like to come on a 1-week cruise to the Caribbean, you can come for free. Because somebody canceled and I can't fill that spot. Now, don't you think that's a coincidence, right? That it happens to be the exact example that I gave. All right, did I create that, or was I picking up on something that already existed? I think it's both. All these things exist. So what's happening with me when I go into that manifesting state that I know I can create anything, I know that I can create anything. I've got goals, and now my focus is not the goal, it's what's my journey between now and when that goal is going to show up, because it's already done. I already know it's done. So what happens is when I speak things sometimes, they just show up. Because it's a reality, and I know all these probabilities can show up at any point, and they just show up sometimes just by me mentioning them, bringing them up, because I'm visualizing stuff, and I know it's true, so in my head it's true. I have 100% belief, and that's what happens. That's that power you wield. Now the problem is, the thing you want most is where your block is, and that's what my whole lessons that I'm doing, working very hard. I can't wait till the day you watch this video and it's already available to you. I actually walk you through that, because the thing that you want most is the thing that you have the most issues with. If you didn't have an issue with money, you wouldn't be lacking money, right? So that's the big challenge, is what you don't have is the thing you have the biggest block about. So you have to really take a look at this. Why can't I get money? It's like, because you have an issue with money. Let's just put that aside. It's because you have an issue with money. Let's dig deep. Let's address that head on. That's how it works. What in your head tells you you can't have money? What in your head tells you it's not spiritual to have money? Are you kidding? There is no limit to the universe. It's all abundant. It's limitless. What part of you thinks you aren't as good as anybody else to have your own YouTube channel or start your own company or date somebody who's just rockin' good looking but is nice, that respects you, or for you to start making the kind of money that some of these millionaires I work with, and I'm on my way to, make. And when I get people that don't believe that, I'm like, that's why you're where you are, because you don't believe the stuff we're doing is real. I just showed my paycheck to about 30,000 people today to show them this is what I'm doing. This is way beyond the goals you guys are setting. They want to make $10,000 a month. I'm like, I'm so way beyond that. Because I'm not capping that. I don't cap myself. My goal is 8 figures. I'm sorry. Oh, wow. I just created something. My goal is 7 figures. I want to hit 7 figures shortly. I'm on track. And then, oh, whoa, maybe I'm going to hit 8 figures. I think that's it. I think I'm going to do it. See, I don't cap myself, right? I have goals. Don't be afraid to set goals and know what you want. But what's going to happen is you're going to get there and go, wow, I should have hit a higher goal. I should have named something bigger. Wow, what was I thinking? I could have had anything. Because when you realize you have that power, you're going, I actually did that. It wasn't like, oh, I'll try for this. No, this and this doesn't take any more energy from the universe. There's no more energy expended. There's no judgment. It's coming from you. You're the one that thinks you can make a few thousand here, but $1 million is out of your wheelhouse. That's how it works. That's why so few people have that kind of money, because the rest of everybody relates to it to being bad, because those people have been in power and they keep the little guy working so that they can keep the money. But it doesn't work that way either. Everybody can be wealthy. That's the ridiculous part about it all. But then that whole power thing comes in, and ego and all that other stuff comes into play. And that's not just about money. But we're done with it, aren't we? You have that power. Now, I'm going to do a video right after this, and it's going to be about what happens when other people's energy comes into play. So we're going to talk about energy, because this is all science, This is science. All of this. So I'm going to address that. Did you say your mantra today? The one that is in the Master Key system that has healed people, brought a man back to life, and kept him going and healed other people. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. And then I always add thanks, because grateful, and you got to really mean it, grateful means it's done. And you're thanking the universe, and that message is not please, it's thank you for the miracles you're sending me. Thank you for all the miracles I'm receiving every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so blessed. Thank you for the abundance you're sending me every day, and the health and the joy. Thank you for waking up with me and taking my energy to the next level, because you need to give permission, and it's all waiting there. Those higher energies like, yeah, we can go in now. Come on, team. She invited us. Let's raise her frequency. She wants to work with us. We're all one. We're all a team. Free will cannot be imposed upon. Even though if you think it is, great. Go learn that lesson for all. Come back in a few years and talk to me. You're going to go, oh my God, it's true. I do really have control of this. I always did. And I was the one thinking everybody's keeping me down. Story in the head. Sending you light, love, blessings, joy, abundance, prosperity, fun. Namaste.